Have you ever like thought of the first life on Earth? Like think about it. Where do we come from? Well, we have an answer for you. They were like single cell creatures or like I'm just gonna say it out. It's bacteria. They are just typically like a few like micrometers in the length and they are really simple. So let's talk about them in this video. So, bacteria, they live in every possible habitat on the planet, and that is very large. That's a very large amount of like area and surface and stuff. The habitats include like soil, underwater, on the air. They also live in the air. Hydrothermal vents like a volcano under the seas, and even the poles like the Arctic and the Antarctica. They even live in your hands after you wash them, because they're in the air and they can just stick back into your hands after you wash them. But that doesn't mean you don't need to wash your hands, because it still eliminates most of them. Like the shampoo thing said, like 99.9% of the bacteria are gone or something like that. So you still have 0.01% of them. It's there's a billion, a trillion something in your hands. So like 0.01%, 0.01% is a lot, but this still eliminates most of them. So we're good. And there are 2 times 10 to the power of 30 bacteria on Earth, forming a biomass that is only exceeded by plants. Biomass is the mass of the total mass of the like a type of life. You know what I mean? And next we have the roles in ecosystems and in our body as well, such as like in our stomach where the digesting things begin like happens. There are some chemical compounds that we can digest. So, long time ago, our ancestors make a deal. They give bacteria a place to live and food to eat. And the bacteria has to break down some of those chemical compounds for us because we can't do that. And they are also very important for ecosystems. They can have the role as decomposers in an ecosystem, which means they can break down chemical compounds in dead animals and plants. Without them, the carbon and the nutrient cycle can't be complete, and the producers such as plants can't make more food. But there are plenty of bad ones that can harm us, such as anthrax, and inflammation can be caused by the bacteria as well. So next, we have the composition and categorization. So bacteria are single cell and they should look something like this, and I will put the image on the screen right now. They are composed of a wall and the genetic materials inside, and often have a method for movement, such as flagellum for them to swim. They can be classified into 3 groups: Kaki, which is a sphere shape; Bacillus, which is a rod shape; Spirilla, which is a spiral shape; and Pleomorphic, which mean like the combinations of all of those forms, like the Kaki and the Bacillus like merge together can create like a Kakicillus or something. I remember that much. But here's the interesting part about the bacteria, because some species can contain small circular plasmid of additional DNA. Plasmid just actually means like a bunch of DNA create into a circle. And plasmids can actually be like used, be collected from the environment by the bacteria. So we can take this to our advantage, and they can they will put two genes into the plasmid. The gene that's help us survive something, and the gene that the actual thing we want it to make a compound, and then they put the gene and the bacteria into a like heat, so the bacteria needs the heat gene. So they will put the plasmid in, and whoever the bacteria that puts the heat resistant and the plasmid up, which contain the heat resistance, and the thing we want will not die from the heat, and will survive, and we will use that to create the thing we actually want. um, but before that we need to remove the heat genes, and then we combine the gene with the gene we want into the plasmid. So let's look at its defense. Bacteria has many ways to defend themselves, like biofilm, which is sticking together and form a sort of mat, releasing slime and gooey stuff to protect themselves, like a colony of them, kinda like the slime mold. Capsule. Some bacteria are enclosed in a protective capsule, which help prevent white blood cells from ingesting the bacteria. Also, they have an outer membrane under the capsule. The bacteria have an outer membrane that protects them against certain antibiotics. When disrupted, this membrane releases endotoxins. Endotoxin is a toxin that is responsible, present inside a bacteria cell, and when released, the cell will disintegrate it. It is sometimes responsible for the characteristic symptoms of a disease. Spores, which is a dormant form of bacteria. Spore can enable the bacteria to survive when environmental conditions are difficult. When the conditions are favorable, each spore germinates into an active bacterium. Bacterium is a single word for bacteria, by the way, and the spore is kinda like a mushroom spore. They kinda and not kinda. So who knows? And we have the antibiotic resistance. Some bacteria naturally has the resistance to that, but others can develop the resistance to drugs because they acquire the gene from other bacteria, or because the genes mutated. The genes that encode for drug resistance can be passed to the following generation of bacteria, or even to other species of bacteria. They have two types of taking energy, make energy for the survival. One is photosynthesis, which happens in plants and cyanobacteria, and we have the break down chemical compounds using oxidation. But thanks to photosynthesis, that we come to be, because cyanobacteria basically make a bunch of oxygen, so the other bacteria dies because oxygen is poisonous to them, and the other that adapts to oxygen evolves into us, and the bacteria and the cyanobacteria is still on Earth today. So next, we have reproduction and life cycle. Unlike in multicellular organisms like us, humans, we have many cells and increase the cell size using cell growth. Reproduction and cell division are tightly linked in unicellular organisms. Bacteria grow into a fixed size, large enough, and then reproduce through binary fission. Binary fission, which is just a fancy word for splitting into. A form of asexual reproduction which means reproduce without a partner. Thanks to this, they can invade our food and homes quickly then make them unstable. This is a really big problem, and I don't like it. I don't like bacteria just come over and say, hey, we're gonna destroy and eat all of your food, haha. Anyways, bye. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new this week. And please subscribe and like to me, and I will see you guys in another video.